In FM synthesis, the timbre of the carrier oscillator is changed by one or more modulator oscillators. Typically, the frequency of the modulator oscillators track the frequency of the carrier. Common frequency relationships include integer or whole number multiples of the carrier frequency, such as 2 to 1 or 3 to 2. These are known as ratios. Instead of saying that a mod oscillator is double the frequency of the carrier, you would say the ratio is 2 to 1. Grackle uses a fractional interval system to determine the frequency relationships between the carrier and modulator oscillators, inspired by just intonation tuning and the harmonic series. Just intonation is a tuning system that uses integer ratios for musical intervals, similar in some respects to FM ratios. The ratio applied to Grackle's mod oscillators is determined by the relationship between the interval sliders and interval switch. The interval switch sets the denominator, or the bottom part of a fraction, either 3, 5, or 8. And the slider chooses a number between 1 and 32 for the top part of the fraction, or the numerator. I'm controlling Grackle from this Max MSP patch with a MIDI to CV converter that sends parameters from the computer to the Euro rack. The interval CV inputs are calibrated to correspond with a 1 volt per octave standard. With the attenuators all the way to the right, an increase of 1/12 of a volt, or a semitone, will select the next largest interval. What this means is that you can precisely control and sequence the mod ratios the same way you would a 1 volt per octave sequence. While the sliders only go from 1 to 32, you can also go above or below the slider range using CV, but we're just going to focus on the primary ones. I have a spectroscope that shows the carrier oscillator, and I have the carrier and mod oscillators going into this scope, although you aren't hearing the mod oscillator directly. The top number box shows the number present for mod 2 interval, and the bottom number box shows the interval switch. This box on the right here shows the result of the fraction. I'm just going to go through the different interval combinations, and you can see and hear what they sound like. Now, I just stepped through the different intervals on one mod oscillator using this slider in Max. But you can also use this concept to externally sequence both the interval sliders and the interval switch in tandem with the carrier oscillator. And we can hear that in the next audio example. This explanation should give you a pretty good idea of ratios in FM synthesis, not just in Grackle. Thanks so much for watching. Happy patching!